Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi. You already live. Do you want me to share your screen? You got any presentations you would like to do?
No, so we're live right now.
You be live so you can start talking.
Okay, great. All right, South Africa. What an incredible opportunity to be back with you and talk about 2021 being the year of the productivity coach, the year of the PC. What does it mean to be the year of the productivity coach? Well, let's start with what is a productivity coach, right? Well, let's kind of build the foundation of a productivity coach and why we would focus on it. First of all, what is it? Well, a productivity coach is a leader inside the organization that focuses on the sales and productivity, the systematic sales and productivity of the agents that join the market center of the company. It's really that simple. A way to look at it, right? A way to look at the sales and productivity of the market center is this productivity coach is going to operate in some ways the same way that someone that operates a sales team would operate. They're going to provide training, they're going to provide support, they're going to provide structure, they're going to provide infrastructure for the agents within their organization. They're going to provide tools and resources. They're going to provide a daily schedule of operations and an ideal schedule for an agent to operate in. And fundamentally, what they're going to be doing is challenging those agents to do the daily activities like script practice, do the daily activities like lead generation, do the daily activities like lead follow-up, do the daily activities like hold appointments, do the daily activities like negotiate contracts, negotiate agreements, the daily activities, do the daily activities. No, I'm not on repeat. And yes, I am repeating myself. The daily activities to be successful as a real estate professional. So that's what a productivity coach is. It's an individual. Think about it this way: you join a market center, you join a real estate company, a real estate office, right? And you're a brand new agent, or you're a lesser producing agent, or maybe you're even a capping agent that's looking for some more help. Where do you go? Of course, you go to the leadership team. They're there to support you. They're there to provide the overall infrastructure of the organization. Where do you go? Well, of course, you go to something like this. You go to family reunion. Absolutely, right? You show up here. You show up to the family reunion around the world. Now that it's digital, you do that. You show up to Bold. You take your market center training like Ignite and other training. You plug into the market center. What if you need some more help? Where would you go if you wanted somebody to help you with your scripts? You might go to training. You might go to some different things. You might take a MAPS group coaching course to be able to do that. You might hire a MAPS coach. You could do all those things, right? And yet at a market center level, where would you go if you wanted somebody to lead generate with on a daily basis, whether it was on Zoom like today or on some technology, or when it's safe and we're able to do so back in person to build that camaraderie and that energy? Where would you go if you wanted somebody to help you handle objections right after you got done lead generating? You said, wow, I called someone and they said this. How do I deal with that? Where would you go if you wanted somebody to help you to develop your follow-up system, or somebody to help you develop your touch program or your outreach program? Where would you go? Yes, you can go to training. Yes, you can go to Ignite. Yes, you're going to go to family reunion. Yes, you're going to go other places. Yet, who's the person that you would connect with? Now, many countries around the world, they have this legal component of someone that they would connect with, which they would, in the United States, we call a broker, right? Other countries have different people that do that. Some people, it's the owner or the team leader, or in other regards. We're not so much talking about the contractual side of things. We're much more talking about the business operations and the sales side of things. So what is a productivity coach? It's a one-on-one sales, marketing, support, and systematic trainer coach within the organization, part of the leadership team, that hold you accountable, capable, and able of executing on the simple tools and daily activities of a successful real estate professional. That's what it is, right? Of course, it's the year of the productivity coach, because, and the way we just described it, why wouldn't it be the year? Now, if you're sitting on this going, I think that's something that I'd like to do, right? Well, what does the productivity coach do, right? So we talked about what is a productivity coach. Now, what do they do? What they don't do is have a 30-minute coaching call with each person, right? And that's it. See, MAPS coaching, what we do as a coach, what I do as a coach, as a MAPS coach, right, is that we go out and we have 30-minute coaching calls with our clients on a weekly basis. We provide additional resources and support, masterminds for our clients, those types of things, right? And we're challenging them on their numbers and their performance. We're asking their questions to cause them to think bigger and break through their limiting beliefs and shift and change their mindset. And we're partnering with them to implement the systems necessary to grow their business. Productivity coaching is really more, you could say, in the trenches, really more, right, in the day-to-day operations with individuals. And it's not so much at a models-based or high-level systematic coaching. It's really the fundamentals of, okay, let's help you design your ideal schedule. Let's help you execute on the simple daily activities and hold you accountable, capable, able to do them. Let's help you track your numbers that you need to track, right? And let's assure that you're implementing those simple tools that allow you to start setting your goals and start operating your business. Tools like the 411 and the GPS. So if you wanted to be a productivity coach, what does the world look like? Well, on a daily basis, you probably have a group of people in your organization. If you have 100 agents in your market center or 200 agents in your market center, your program could be as big as 50 or 100 or 150 people. And every day you might start your day on a Zoom call as that productivity coach for the first 15 or 20 minutes in the morning. And what would you do? Well, you do script practice, and you'd break people into breakout rooms and you do script practice, and they would practice calling on a listing, right? Or following up, or their listing presentation, right? They would actually be practicing with each other's scripts every day. Yeah, every day, practicing every day, right? And you bring people back together, right? And you talk about what were your ahas, what were your takeaways, right? What went well? What should we improve on? You'd be sharing resources with them. Like, there's this book by Phil Jones called Exactly What to Say, right? You'd be sharing other resources with people, like the book Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, books on negotiation, on scripting, on sales skills, on fundamental skills, right? And then what would you do next? Well, you'd get right out of practicing what you were going to say. And then you, as a productivity coach, you're probably still selling real estate, would start lead generating. And the people in your program would lead generate too. And you do that on Zoom today. And when we can go in person, you do it in person. Yep, this is real simple. It's not complicated. You're actually doing the functions. You're actually in the role, participating with the people in your program, right? You start lead generating and they're lead generating with you. And who are they calling? Well, they're calling potential clients. They're calling past clients. They're asking for referrals. They're doing outreach for the people that they know, right? They're putting deals together. They're doing outbound outreach and lead generation and contacting potential clients. And so after 2 hours or more of doing that, you bring everybody back together as a productivity coach and you say, hey, what went well? What didn't go so well? What were you challenged by? What were the issues? What were the problems? What were the experiences you had that weren't so great? How do we work on that? What can we do differently, right? And well, when you think about consulting an agent as a productivity coach, and you think to yourself, well, how would I ask them questions, and what would that consultation look like? What would that conversation look like? Well, what it would look like is maybe page 167 of the MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. Gary gives a consultative interview, a model for it. He says, what was your goal? How did you do? How do you feel about that? Based on what you did, what's your goal? And what do you need to do now? Is there anything that might keep you from doing that? If you needed training or support to do this, what might it be? That's probably what you do at the end of each lead generation, at the end of each script practice, every day as a productivity, every day as a productivity coach. Okay, what do you do next? Well, you have lead follow-up. See, we practice what we're going to say on a daily basis. This is what we do as real estate professionals. And then we say it. That's called lead generation. And then we follow up on what we said. That's called lead follow-up. So far we've got script practice, lead generation, lead follow-up. And what are we doing as a productivity coach? Or why would somebody join a program? Well, because the coach is doing it with them, either on Zoom or live every day. Yeah, that's what's going on. Somebody to help you do that. Pretty cool. So lead follow-up, what happens? Well, the productivity coach, especially if they're actively selling real estate, they're following up with people. If the productivity coach is not actively selling real estate and they don't have a leveraged business, meaning that they have a listing specialist or someone that's leveraged in their business to take that on primarily, right? Or leverage on their team to be able to refer transactions or deals to, and they're full-time coaching, they're full-time as an individual that's operating that program, what are they doing? Well, what they're doing would be, they would be lead generating for people to join their program. Either the internal roster of the Market Center, inviting people to join the program, or recruiting, contacting people not with the Market Center and asking them to join their program and explaining to them the value proposition of working with someone as a productivity coach. What would they be doing in lead follow-up? Well, they'd be following up with the people that they met with to join their program and following up with people not with them that they had talked with in the past or invited to training to join their program. So it's really just dependent for the productivity coach. Are they actively selling real estate, right? And are they lead generating some for their business and some to grow their program? Or are they full-time coaching, right? And that's all going to be dependent upon the size of their business and the leverage that they have, okay? So we're script practicing, we're lead generation, lead follow-up. What do they do next? Well, in lead follow-up, they're going to go through, they'll follow up, the people in the program follow up, right? So everybody together is doing these activities, and then they go back through and they say, hey, how'd we do? What was challenging? What objections did you hear? Challenges did you hear? Situations did you get in that we could all learn from, that we could help you through? How can we work together to make sure that you do more transactions, or you close this deal, or you take it to the next step? Okay, so what happens next? Well, now the productivity coach, if they're actively selling, well, they go on appointments. And what do? They bring people with them. What are some interesting things that you could do today? Well, with technology like this, right? They could have an appointment where they had 1,000 people on their listing appointment. Sure, yeah, they could. They'd say, hey, well, I hope and trust that it's okay for you. And they would get permission. I've got a few people in my program, right, that are going to be shadowing. They won't be talking. It'll just be you and I, and they're going to be just listening and learning. I mean, that's what you're doing right now, isn't it? You're there at home in South Africa. Here I am in Austin, Texas, and we're having a conversation. Now, there's a lot of people listening, yet on this screen, I can only see me, right? You can probably only see you, and yet we're doing just fine. So could that productivity coach, if they were actively selling, invite the people in their program to shadow them to see exactly what happens? Yeah, they could, and it would be very beneficial. Do they have to do that? No, they don't. They could do the opposite. They could have agents in their program go on appointments, and that productivity coach could go to different appointments with different agents on a daily basis, and the coach could actually be a support system or shadowing that agent, right? They could easily do that on Zoom or in technology. And yet in person, we could do that just with smaller groups of people, right? And have the coach be shadowed or have the coach shadow agents. That would be a very highly efficient, highly engaged program. It would be really awesome as an experience as an agent. Think about that if you had the ability to have somebody with you at that level. Now, what happens after that? Well, we've got to negotiate, right? Now that we've script practiced, we've practiced what to say, we've lead generated, we've gone out and said it, we've lead follow up, right? So we've followed up on what we said, we've held appointments with listings, and we've gone to take those listings. Now, let's say we take a listing and we need to negotiate. The people in the program, the members of the productivity coaching program, are going to get some help from the productivity coach. What might they do? The coach might take do a group call in the afternoon, or a group training in the afternoon every day during the week, or 3 days a week, or 1 or 2 days a week, where they take a deal that's in the market and they negotiate together as a team, right? And they say, okay, so somebody has their listing in agreement or under contract. Let's work together as a team to identify, right, what would be the best way for us to negotiate this transaction to close. And they would use it like a case study or as an example so that everybody, even the people that weren't doing deals, could get the practice, right? They might say, okay, let's everybody write down, what the terms of the deal are. Or if we've got multiple offers, let's everybody write down what these offers are. And let's determine how would we communicate with our client to determine what deal they could take and what would be the best deal for them. I think what happens when we think about productivity coaching is sometimes we get confused. Sometimes we make it like coaching like we do at MAPS, or sometimes we make it like coaching in a different way. Productivity coaching is much more like coaching football. I did a little bit of research before today's call. It wasn't really extensive research, so don't get too excited. And yet what I found, or at least according to Google, the #1 sport in South Africa is football. Well, think about a football coach, right? Think about, in America, we call it soccer, right? Think about a football coach. Sorry, I don't know why we do that. Well, there's American football. It's just, don't worry about all of that stuff. We don't know what we're doing over here. Let's focus on South Africa, okay? A football coach does a couple things. If you really think about it, every day they have practice. Every day they have practice. And what do they practice? Well, they practice, right, passing. They practice offense and defense. They practice drills. They do, right, 7-on-7 drills and 11-on-11 drills and 3-on-3 drills, and they shorten the field, and they work with offenses and defenses, right? They have conversations about the mental game. They draw up plays and they work in the room together, and they say, okay, here's the plays that we're going to run. Let's work on that. Now, that coach also has a distinct responsibility of that football team. That coach is not just responsible for running practice, teaching plays. That's like scripts. Teaching plays is like scripts. Their job is to teach plays, right, for that team. Now, what they also do is they go and they practice those plays, or they actually go out and they run the plays. That's like lead generation, right? Then what they do is they come back into the locker room and they review that, and they talk about where they could get better, right, or where they could grow. That's like lead follow-up, right? And then what they do is they go out into the game. They actually step into the game, and now they coach the game. Those are appointments, right? And then they review the game tape, and they have conversations about what do we do well in the game with their other coaches? What do we need to change with the players, right? What are we going to take into practice to improve and grow? That's like negotiating contracts. So a productivity coach is a lot like a professional football coach. Here's the other reason why they're a lot like a professional football coach. That team, as long as South African football is the same as American football, there's 11 players on the field, right? 11 soccer players, 11 football players, right? I think it's the same. Now, what's interesting is that team has much more than 11 players. It's kind of like a productivity coaching program where there's one coach and there's 50 or 60 players on the team or more. And because of the fact that some of those players retire, some of those players resign from the team, some of those players are traded away, right? That coach has a distinct responsibility. They've got to get their players into production through those simple tasks on a daily basis. And they also have to go recruit new players in the market. They've got to go out and they've got to sign new players, right? They've got to go out and help their team grow. Normally, those football teams have a general manager. That'd be like your team leader. And the general manager is normally responsible for that. And yet the coach for the team often gets involved. So what does a productivity coach do? Really simple. They grow their program and they grow the production of the people in their program. Two things. They grow their program. Yep, they recruit for it. Yep, they recruit. Yep, they recruit. Yep, they recruit. I know I'm repeating myself, yet sometimes we hear it more than once, but it starts to sink in. They recruit. Just like soccer coaches do, just like football coaches do, they recruit. What else do they do? Right? Well, they help the people in their program. So they grow their program and they grow the production of the people in their program. That's it. How do they do it? Well, we talked through that. They work through a daily schedule and they help the people in their program develop their day. And that's what all of our days are in real estate: script practice, lead generation, lead follow-up, holding appointments, negotiating contracts. Tomorrow morning, you wake up and you script practice and you lead generate and you lead follow-up and you hold appointments and negotiate contracts. Because time out for a second. If you worked in a different role and you weren't a real estate professional, if you worked in a different world and you weren't a real estate professional and you wanted to get paid, what you're going to make in real estate, right? Meaning, like, let's just say that you wanted to make a couple million rand, right? And you wanted to work for a company, right? We'll say a couple $1,000,000, right? Or a couple million rand. And you want to work for a company that was going to pay you that. And you were going to be an employee. What do you think that company would expect of you? Would that company expect for you to show up to work every day? Would that company expect for you to work 40 hours a week? I don't know, 50 hours a week? Would they expect for you to show up in the morning and do your work and create your prospects and your clients and follow up with them and service them and work with them? Is that what they would expect to pay you, that type of money? Probably. Yes, definitely. Okay. Is that what you expect of yourself? Are you working in your real estate business the way that you would work if someone were to pay you the money that you want to earn in your business? And if not, why not? Well, productivity coaching is about enrolling someone, employing someone, investing in someone. Yes, that coach is going to make a small portion often. That's how they get paid. Often you're going to make a small portion of every transaction you close. So you're investing in that person, right? Holding you accountable to doing the work each day as if someone were paying you to do it. And if you operated that way, if you operated like someone were paying you the money that you anticipate earning on a daily basis, and then you had someone holding you accountable to doing the tasks that are important every day for you to earn that money, well, guess what? You'll make the money. For the people, where people fail in real estate is they don't enroll, invest, employ, engage anyone else in holding them accountable, capable, able of the simple daily tasks and developing the skill set of sales and communication and activities. And what happens is they have this anticipation that they're going to earn the money without doing the work. Productivity coaching is about getting in the trench with you, challenging you, holding you accountable to bridge that gap, right? So that's one thing that they do. That's how we do it. The productivity coach grows their program and they grow the agent's business in the program. How do they do it? They perform and hold agents accountable to the daily tasks that they need to perform, those 5 tasks every day, to be able to get that done. What else does a productivity coach do? Well, they teach tools and resources. Not all of them, not everything in Keller Williams, not every model that exists. That's too complicated. It's too much. They teach the simple things that allow you to become successful. Well, where do we start? How about the 411? How about where they start is they start with the personal goals that you have. Productivity coaching starts with a consultation, right? Or a business planning meeting, business consultation or business planning meeting. So they meet with an individual as that person joins the program and they ask them some questions like, what are your goals? And why are those goals important for you? And what's next for you? And what income do we need to earn in order to fund your life? And do you know what your personal expenses are? And have you anticipated your professional expenses for real estate? Right? Based on that, are you aware, and based on really the economic model of the MREA, are you aware of how many transactions that you'll need to close in order to earn what you desire to earn? And what they do is they help somebody with the 411, which is, what are my personal goals and what do I desire to earn and do and have in my life personally, the vacations and the things I want to buy and the debt that I want to pay off, the investments I want to make, because that's why we're all in real estate anyway. What are the personal goals that I have? And then what do I need to do professionally to be able to fund my life and those goals? That's the 411. So that's really where it starts in productivity coaching. There's a consultation conversation, And they help that person lay out their goals and then structure how many transactions they'll need to close to fund that. Where do we go next? Very simple. They help the person create a GPS or a 135. It's the same tool. It's one goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies for each priority. It's in order to be able to close that many transactions and fund my life based on my 401, what are my goals? What are my priorities? What are my strategies? And they help that person in the program do those simple things, create their personal goals, identify the professional strategies, and then secondarily, develop that 1-page business plan of their primary goal, the number of units that they'll close and the income that they'll earn, their priorities, right? Priorities are typically going to be their lead generation, right? And their lead follow-up, and maybe it's going to be their marketing strategies, wherever that is, and their priorities as they get started, and the strategies under each priority in order to assure that they achieve their annual goal professionally. They earn the income they desire to earn in order to live the life that they want to live in real estate. So there's a consultation. People come into the business. The coach meets with them and they go through those goals. They create the professional structure based on the economic model of the millionaire real estate agent. They then help them create a 1-page business plan. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Now they'll work with them to time block their schedule based on what you want and what you need to do. We're going to time block 5 items, these same things we've been talking about for the last 27 minutes, these 5 items in your schedule each day. Lead script practice, lead generation, lead follow-up, holding appointments, negotiating transition plans. And tomorrow, which is your first day in real estate, you're going to come in and you're going to script practice first thing in the morning. You're going to get a script, you're going to get a partner, right? You're going to jump right in, you're going to start practicing. And when lead generation, we're going to start contacting the people that we know, that know, like, and trust us, the people in our cell phone, based on your state, your country, your national laws and regulations on your outreach and lead generation. You guys know what you can and can't do, and your organization, your leaders, and this coach is going to talk you through that. Based on who you can contact, you're going to start your outbound outreach to make that happen. Then once we're done that, we're going to start following up with people. For those individuals that don't have anyone to follow up with yet, they're going to continue generating leads, making contact, letting people know that they're in real estate now. And then if they know someone looking to buy, sell, or invest, to contact them. Then they're going to get into appointments. And what they're going to start with, that brand new agent is shadowing someone. And then they're going to go into negotiating contracts. That brand new agent's going to shadow or take a training or identify something to do that with. And the coach is going to once or a couple times a week, take specific examples and train things like the script, train things like how do we do outbound lead generation, train things like what do we say in the needs analysis in the listing presentation and how do we prepare that, train the fundamentals and the basics of daily execution in the business. The productivity coach is the person that causes the agent to step into the business and learn the fundamentals in how they plan, use tools and resources, and operate their GPS, right, their 1-page business plan, and then execute on developing a time block schedule and the daily activities so they can go from starting or starting over or joining our company or wanting to do things the right way or just scale their business with consistency to getting to the level where they have that foundation set. And now they could get into something like MAPS coaching. Now that agent has made the money and has the ability to make a larger investment in themselves and pay for a MAPS coach. It's going to take that fundamental or that foundational set and help them move from there to do things like hire talent and grow their team. That's really, right, the year of the PC, the year of 2021 is, right, South Africa, countries around the world are so excited about making sure that we have these individuals in market centers and bridging that gap. Now, you might have heard all of this and said, that sounds like an exciting opportunity. That sounds like something that I would love to do personally. Well, it would be great for you to contact your leadership team and identify, are you someone that, think about those professional football coaches in your country, right? What experience do they have in coaching? Or what experience do they have in football? Or what experience do they have in both? Typically, the answer that you're going to find is they have experience in both. They've got experience in playing professional football. they've got experience in coaching professional football, and that's how they become a head coach, right? So when you think about, hey, I want to be that person, I want to create an opportunity where I can work with people and help them grow, and a portion of their transaction or a small amount of money for each one of those people in a large program comes to me, which can be significant income, right? I want that to be what I do to get people to lay that foundation, to go through those daily tasks, because I love real estate. I'm passionate about it, right? I want to help other people do it. I want to coach people as an income stream to be able to scale. I want to take people from that fundamental level to get into a level where they're ready to hire a MAPS coach, or go to a level where they're starting to hire people for their team or scale their leverage. Well, if you want to be that person, right, there's some things to think about. Number one, have you done it? Have you laid the foundation in your business? Are you lead generating on a daily basis? Are you practicing your scripts? Are you learning your scripts and internalizing them to a level where you could teach other people? If not, that's a good place to start. Right? Are you building your business to a level where you personally have leverage, where you've hired for your team, where you could take something else on, where you could do something additionally because you have the leverage in place to be able to do so? If not, scaling your business through daily and committed lead generation would be a great place to start, right? Do you follow up with your leads? Do you have systematic follow-up? Have you developed your database through command? Have you developed your database where you're following up with a 36 touch system, where you're not what we would call a transactional agent, meaning that you just go from transaction to transaction without following up with people, that you're a systematic and purposeful agent where you have a follow-up system and a database that you're operating where you could teach other people that their database is their business. Are you doing that? Well, if not, that's a good place to start. Are you at an expert level or a mastery level in the way that you communicate in taking listings? And have you taken, I don't know, 50, 100, 200, 300, more of them in the last few months, in the last few years of your career? If not, increasing the number of listings that you take and the homes that you sell and the units that you close and the income that you generate, that's a good place to start, because it increases, just like that football team, your practice, right? It increases your practice and your ability to communicate the challenges, the issues, help people handle the objections that you've faced and that you've overcome. Finally, have you negotiated a couple hundred deals, 50 deals, 100 deals, 200 deals, 1,000 deals, right? If so, you're probably at a level where you could help other people with the objections, the issues, the challenges, the frustration that they have when they do their first couple of transactions. If not, it's time to go and do more business, right? And because we're going to have to know how to help other people handle all these challenges, issues, opportunities so that we can support them. And that would be a good place to start. So I hope and trust what you're hearing is, if I haven't yet built a large and leveraged business, I'm probably not yet a candidate to be a productivity coach, probably not yet a candidate to be a productivity coach, right? Because I don't have the professional experience to be able to simplify the real estate business for other people. I just haven't done it enough to be able to see the trends and patterns, to be able to use systems and models, right? And to ask simple questions to help people feel confident and take action on growth in their own career. That's okay. It's just those are the places where we need to start. It might make sense for you to get into productivity coaching if you're not at that place yet and you ultimately want to be a productivity coach, right? Productivity coach is a market center level position. And so what have we covered so far? Well, it's the year of the PC. 2021 is the year of the PC. That's what we're calling this at least. And so what does that mean? What it means is we've covered what is a productivity coach. And what we've said is that a productivity coach is a lot like a professional football coach. What do? Right? Well, they fundamentally grow their program. Yeah, they recruit. Yeah, they grow their program. And they grow the production of the people in their program from a fundamental or foundational level. Yeah, okay, that's what they do. Then we said, what is a productivity coaching program? And we kind of walked through it from the eyes of someone getting into the program and the eyes of someone from a coach. There's an onboarding and orientation process where we're getting someone's goals, introducing them to a 4-on-1, helping them move into a GPS. And then there's we're going to help them time block their schedule based on their goals and the time that they have available in their career. And then we have a daily series of activities that we take on as a coach in lead generation, lead follow-up, holding appointments, negotiating contracts, right? That script practice and role play, where we're actually modeling, right, that behavior for people in the program, and we're doing it along with them. We're doing it either if we're the productivity coach, if we sell real estate still, we're doing it to sell more real estate, right? And if we don't sell real estate, we're doing that behavior to grow our program, one of our primary functions. Okay, we talked about why would somebody join a productivity coaching program? And we said, well, maybe they're new to real estate and they need somebody to help them be accountable or capable or able, right? And teach them the basic and fundamentals of a daily basis and daily series of activities to be able to achieve their goals. Maybe they're a lesser producing agent, right? And they just haven't put their business together yet. And they're coming from a different organization and they want to reset their career, or they want to go back to the fundamentals to be able to achieve next level. Maybe they're a capping agent and they just want to put those systems in place, right? They just want to have that daily activity, that daily schedule of success that we know causes agents to be able to grow their business consistently. And they want to make that commitment, right? It could be any of those things, right? That's why someone would join the program. And we talked about, what is it that would allow someone to be this person, right? So if we were going to be a productivity coach, if we were going to take on this opportunity, right, what would allow us to be that person? And we said, well, you're probably going to be a lot like that professional football coach in South Africa. You're probably going to be a lot like that person that has professional experience at a very high level, right? And you're probably going to be like that person that has professional coaching experience, or at the very least, right, you've grown your business and done the 50, the 100, the 200, the 500, the 1,000 plus transactions. So you've had so much practice doing the work that you understand the common objections, issues, problems. You also understand the fundamentals at a very simple level of how does the real estate business work? How do people get into it? What do they need to commit to be successful in it when they do? And how do they take those steps to move forward? And so because of that experience, you're able to very simply communicate that with people and execute, if you decide to be this coach, on helping people to grow their business through simple tools like the 4-on-1 and the GPS, simple daily activities and time blocking their schedule, right? And generating and delivering the resources like the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and courses like Ignite to get them plugged in and get them engaged. Well, I mean, that's what it is. So, I don't know if you guys have, we do have the ability to have questions. You can certainly put questions in, and I believe that I can see the messages or the questions. If you have anything you'd like to ask about, right? How do I become a PC, or what should I be thinking about, or what would I receive in the program? Hopefully I've helped you understand the difference between what productivity coaching is and what I do and what I'm privileged to do, which is MAPS coaching. And they're different conversations. It's really from a different level, typically, of execution of that agent, or a different level of the career of that agent, right? And if you have other questions outside of that, I'd love to be able to answer those for you. Yet this is really exciting that South Africa, right, is making a commitment to be able to provide this opportunity and resource, right, inside your market centers for this leader, right, to be able to work with you on a really high level. So right now, I don't see any questions coming in. So either we just did the greatest job in the world of describing what this program is or how it works on a daily basis and what you would take from it, right? Or maybe we just went through so much information that you're looking to reorganize, right, what that is, or your takeaways or ahas, right? Or maybe you're just thinking to yourself, you know what? Maybe I'll have a question later on, right? Or maybe I'll have a question at a different time, right? So what I would say is this, right? As you think through this course, as you think through this opportunity, as you think through what we've just discussed today, right? Of being the year of the PC, what is a productivity coach? Why would I hire a productivity coach to help me? Why would I think about becoming a productivity coach? What is it that they fundamentally do? What's their daily schedule? What are the people's schedule in the program, right? And how do they provide additional resources to be able to make that happen? What I'd love for you to be considering is, are you someone that goes into the program, right, and grows your business through working with somebody that supports you through your goals and what you wish to achieve? Or are you somebody that is at a point where you say, I'd love to run a program like this. I'd love to be this person. I'd love to be a productivity coach and provide value, opportunity, and support for other people. Really, all of us kind of fit those two categories. Am I at a point where I need to understand the foundation and the fundamentals and I should probably be in the program? Or am I at a point where I've hired for my team, I've grown my business, I've done hundreds or thousands of units, right? And I'd love to give that knowledge back and earn an additional income-based opportunity doing that. And I should be a person raising my hand and talking to the regional team or my market center leadership team about an individual that operates this program, becoming a PC. So think about it. Are you joining the program or are you operating the program? Are you getting into the productivity coaching program in your organization, or are you becoming the productivity coach for your organization, right? Everybody listening to this conversation, right, can be thinking, am I one or am I the other, right? And if you're a leader listening, maybe you think, do I build it? Hey, here's a question. What's the optimum number of agents that a PC can support at any stage? And it's a great question. It's not very complicated, right? Think about the MREA model for the optimum number of transactions that an agent can close before they need to hire help. It's not too dissimilar, right? So agents can close, maybe 30 or 40 or 50 transactions before they hire an administrative assistant. Well, your productivity coaching program, right, as long as people are productive, they're engaged, and you're operating it in a way like we talked about, simple, highly engaged with accountability, you're going to have a group of people in your program, 30, 40, 50, 60 people that you'll be able to work with at that level, right? And then the number tracking that you're going to do to hold people accountable, right? The resources you're going to provide and the questions that you'll have to answer will reach a point. Well, you will want to have administrative help to be able to do that. So, what's the optimum number for a program? The optimum number of people in a productivity coaching program is going to be the number of people inside the market center that are not producing. The target for the program should be everybody inside the market center that's not producing as the starting point, meaning everybody that's not producing on a monthly basis. So if the market center has 100 agents and only 40 did a transaction, the program should be 60 or more agents. Plus, it's going to go out and recruit people because that coach is going to coach people for a period of time. And when the program operates the right way, they're going to graduate people out of the program, right? So again, hopefully that answers your question. It's going to be to the point where they need administrative help, right? And that's going to be based on the individual, yet it's going to be kind of in that range of maybe 30 to 60. And we should always be looking at, right, that program should be supporting everybody at the very least that's not doing a transaction and giving them that option to think differently and putting those accountability in their business, as well as going outside the market center and recruiting and growing the organization. Okay. Looks like we've reached our time talking about productivity coaching. Wow, we've covered a lot. What is it? What do we do? Why would you do it? How would you become one yourself, right? What should we be thinking about? Hope and trust you've gotten value, South Africa, out of this session. Thanks so much for the